Hi there, I'm Amanda Skelton and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I'd like to show you this gorgeous card. This is using one of the free items you can earn in the Sale-a-bration event that's happening at the moment from January to the end of March. It's a really good event actually, so with a £45 order, or minimum of £45 order, you can earn free items. And this is the Sale-a-bration catalogue that I talk about, and this is the free item. So I was able to get this stamp set because I ordered my Poppies products. And the other thing to note is there is another coordination product release coming out, which will be coming out on the 4th of February. So I also was able to get the matching birthday dies that go with it. So this is the set, and so you've got the matching dies to be able to cut them out nicely. So I'll be using both of those products today. So that's the Happy Birthday to You cling stamp set and the birthday dies. And I'm also going to be using an embossing folder. I'm going to be using this basket weave embossing folder to make this background here. Okay, so what do you need to do this? Make this card. So we will need your card base. So this is a piece of Whisper White card, and that measures 5 7/8 inches and 8 by 8 1/4 inches. And I'm going to score, and you need to score that halfway. So that's at 4.5 inches along the long edge. This is effectively an A5 piece of card, so cut your A4 piece of card in half, and that's the size you need for this. That will create an A6 card, which will go into the envelopes that Stampin' Up also do. Then you'll need a piece of coloured card. I'm using Pacific Point, and that needs to measure 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. That'll be your border. And then you want another piece of white card, and that needs to measure 3 5/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And that's going to be, we're going to stamp on there and we're going to emboss that. And then you'll also need some more white card to be able to stamp and colour your flowers. And what I'm also going to use is the Wink of Stella pen, which is a gorgeous pen. It just adds a little bit of glitter onto, well, it's very subtle sheen actually. I don't know if it will pick up on the light, but I've done this on the cream card, and it almost makes it look like a gold glitter. And on this one that I've prepared earlier, on here it comes out as silver on a white card, so hopefully that is picking up. It just gives it a very subtle sheen. So I haven't actually coloured in the base cake on either of these. I've just coloured in the stand and the flowers, and I've just used the Wink of Stella just to give it that bit of a sheen that sometimes white icing or icing often has. And I've also used Stampin Blends. So on the card that I'm going to do here, I've used the light and dark Pretty Peacock Stampin Blends, and I've used light old olive for the flowers, for the leaves, and for the base I've used the light smoky grey ink blend. Okay, so I have cheated a little bit in terms of pre-preparing this because I'd already had them made. So effectively, you've got your big stamp. So you effectively stamp that twice, colour in both of them, especially the flowers. And then because you've got the two dies, the big die will cut out your main cake, and then this extra die that is the coordinating set will cut out this section from exactly the same stamped image, and then you can use that to layer it up to make it sort of decoupage style. What is also nice with this stamp set actually, there's also this other die, so if you wanted to, you could have it a different stand. So it'd be really good to have silver or gold foil. And then what you'd do is you'd cut off this bottom part of the stand and you'd die cut a gold or silver piece of foil, and then you could add that onto the bottom, and that would just add it another sort of dimension, especially for like a wedding or an anniversary card. That would look really nice. So I think that's going to be quite versatile. And you've also got flowers and leaves as well that you can add. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is move all this out of the way. So you want your front piece of card. And what you need to remember is if you're going to have an inked or stamped image on the same piece of card that you're going to emboss, you need to do your stamping first, because you'll not be able to get a very good image if you try and stamp on a non-flat surface. So I'm going to use the Happy Birthday die from the Happy Birthday to You free stamp set. And I'm going to use a Pacific Point ink to match the card. So I'll just load that up nicely. And then I'm going to have that at the bottom. Okay. So that's all I need for that for the minute. So I'm going to get my Big Shot. Now, because we're using an embossing folder and it's one of the what used to be 3D dynamic textures, depends which version of this Big Shot you've got, but if you've got this version, you need to take off one of the clear plates and the very thin coloured or white plate, and so you just want the very big base and one of the clear bases. So there is a front and a back to these. Basically the one that's got the Stampin' Up or the Sizzix on the front is the front. And I'm just going to load it in here straight. Always remember as well, put the hinged side of your embossing folder into your machine first. It will make it last longer. With that one, and then we've got this gorgeous basket weave. A lot of the embossing folders you can use the front and the back side. I don't know that the back side is as good on this, although maybe it looks a little bit like building blocks, maybe Lego, but yeah, there's definitely a front way on this one. So that's my embossed section. So, like I said, we'll have coloured, stamped out. So I've stamped out this using the smoky slate ink for the edges, rather than black. Black is a bit heavier, so I just wanted it to be a bit lighter. So using the grey gives it a nice, more subtle sort of pastel effect. And then I've coloured in the flowers with my blends and the leaves, and then like I said, I've used the Wink of Stella to colour in the actual main cake. And what I've done is if you were going to colour your actual cake in an actual colour, when you colour your piece that's going to be cut out for your flowers to raise up, I wouldn't colour in between. I would keep that all white. The reason I say that is because it just makes it stand out a bit more. You can't always necessarily see that it's a raised up section, so I think it looks quite nice if it's actually left white. Well, that's my preference anyway. Okay, so we want to start assembling it. So I'm just going to use my silicone mat, and I've got my double-sided glue tape, and I'm going to glue my embossed piece of white card. I'll just put this in the middle as well, and then attach that centrally. There you go. So you can hopefully see that even though I've embossed it, the Happy Birthday sentiment is actually still quite nice and prominent you wouldn't be able to get that. You'd be missing half of it if you stamped it after embossing it. So now to add this section onto my card base. Again, you want to central it. There you go. Okay, and because I'm going to be, well, it's up to you. I'm going to be using foam pads to raise the flower section above the main cake. You could do it with the whole thing. You could do it with the bottom cake as well. If you don't, I would probably suggest you do use the Tombow glue or the multi-liquid glue, because you're doing it on top of something that isn't very flat. I think it just ends up being gives it a better adhesion than the double-sided glue tape. So let's just place that one on. Okay, what I sometimes do is, if you want to make sure that it's going to adhere properly, sometimes I just put one of my clear stamping blocks onto it, but I think that'd be fine. So you can either just add it straight on top of the original image, but what I did is I turned mine about a third, I suppose, to turn it around. Sorry, no I didn't, I turned it that way, just to make it a bit bigger impact, but you can turn it however you want, really. I think that looks quite nice like that. So I'm going to use some double-sided sticky pads, and you can just use small pieces of this. You don't need big chunky. I can't get those off. And then one piece in the middle just to support it. And then we take off our protector sheets, and then I'm just going to turn it around like that. So hopefully you can see that that's giving it a bit of definition and a different layer, which is quite nice. So there you go. So quite a quick and easy card, this one. So I've got the two colours there. I've done this one using the very vanilla cardstock, which is actually quite nice as well, especially for a wedding. So the main things really are that the products I've used on here, the stamp set is free with Sale-a-bration event that's going on at the moment. Do take a look. You can go onto my website at amandascraftedcards.stampingup.net. All the products are on my shop, and don't forget the coordinating items that are coming out on the 4th of February as well, that go with some of the stamps that you can earn free. So that just makes a really nice coordinating set. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it gives you inspiration. Enjoy your crafting. Bye bye.